right, we are back. This is the Dream is Free podcast, episode 15. I'm your host, Jake Healy. Our other host and super producer is here, Mike Theophil.
What up?
We're powered by
We're
Downtime
back, baby.
TV. Our guest today is John Dailey, a.k.a. Coach Dailey.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
He was our high school basketball coach, still coaching, right?
Yes.
All right, we are back. This is the Dream is Free podcast, episode 15. I'm your host, Jake Healy. Our other host and super producer is here, Mike Theophil.
What up?
We're powered by
We're
Downtime
back, baby.
TV. Our guest today is John Dailey, a.k.a. Coach Dailey.
What's
to
up,
us.
fellas? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
He was our high school basketball coach, still coaching, right?
Yes.
And I think Mike told me a semi-pro golfer.
I guess you call it high level amateur.
High-level
Not-
amateur.
Not professional, but
All right.
I competed at high
Well,
level.
you're
Like,
welcome.
I'm not just going out there drinking beers and
No,
having
no.
a good time. Like I'm out there to win.
Yeah,
he's nice.
So we're not playing golf anytime soon.
I mean, I'll play with anybody, but
Yeah.
I take it a little more seriously than most. I think.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
No,
today.
man, it's a
We're-
pleasure, boys. I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was nice reminiscing about the old days. It's
Oh,
crazy that we've been out of high school already for
10 years.
10 years now. It's gonna be our 11th year out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of being a coach and obviously a head coach now at Ludlow, going on my 8th year, is that I can come back and I've forged these relationships with old players and now they're my friends and
Yeah.
come back and reminisce about great wins, tough losses, and
Yeah.
I mean,
I think in the end of the day, that's
I mean,
the best
these
part.
guys were the dream team until
Yeah.
this year,
Well,
right?
yeah. So I was an assistant. I was when I came in and
he came in
08.
10 or
07, 08.
07, 07,
Something like
07.
that. Yeah, 07, 08. Mike was a junior, so I was the freshman coach. And then, I coached 3 years as head freshman. And then Josh Marco, the varsity coach at the time, resigned. And then Brian Silvestro got the job, and he promoted me to JV. And I did 3 years at JV. And then when Brian resigned, I was ready and got the job. And
Nice.
now going on my 8th year as head varsity.
How'd you get into coaching to start?
Yeah, it's a long story. Just telling these guys a little earlier, I have a unique path. I mean, like most high school kids, when you graduate, you go to college and then you really have no clue what you're doing.
Right. Did you play basketball in high school?
Played basketball at Fairfield High School, grew up playing hoops, grew up playing baseball, other sports. My dad did a great job of keeping me active and getting myself into, basketball at a very early age. So I fell in love with it, and I was obsessed, man. I was obsessed with high school basketball. I was obsessed with Fairfield High School basketball at the time.
Yeah.
It was one school. Graduated in 99, and they had some incredible teams with some incredible players. So my dad and I would always go to games. We would sit outside in line for an hour just before we get in. Place was crazy. They were really good. So I wanted to go to Fairfield High. I wanted to play. Did that. Played for 4 years for Dave Schultz. Great coach.
Shout out Schultz.
Yep. I was the athletic director when you guys were at Ludlow.
I remember, yeah.
Yep. And then wanted to follow my dream of playing college basketball. So I went to Endicott College. Played for Jamie Cosgrove for a year, and I just realized I was totally burnt out, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But I still wanted to stay connected to the game, so he allowed me to help and manage and come to practices, and I did that for another year. And then I played college golf for 3 years, which was an awesome experience.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm rambling, but I graduated from Endicott with a business degree and specializing in marketing, and still had no clue what the hell I wanted to do, right? And so I graduate and I move back home and took a job, basic marketing job. And then I moved back to Boston, same sort of thing, just kind of going through the motions. And came back down this way, took a job at a marketing firm locally, and I did that for a year and got fired.
What'd you get fired for?
I didn't like it.
It wasn't your
Yeah,
passion.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was my
like-
passion. I couldn't stand it, and so I wasn't putting really. It was
It showed while you were at
Oh,
work.
100%. Very minimal
Yeah.
effort. but it was the best thing that ever happened to me, honestly, because then I was at a crossroads. Like, I had no job. I hated what I was doing. But I knew I wanted to coach and teach. I thought I worked a ton of camps as a kid. I thought I was good with kids, and so I wanted to find something that I was good at, right? I mean, I think that's what we're all in search of. And so I think I was 24, 25, no job. Went back to the golf course, was working on the grounds crew for a summer, and I had to figure out the hell I wanted to do and what I was going to do, and by the fall. And so the athletic director at Endicott called me up and said, listen, we have a grad assistantship program up here. You can be the head intramural director for the college, and we'll pay for your master's degree.
Oh, cool.
So I said, all right, well, that's cool. And what would I get my MBA? And so I was like, well, if I get my MBA in 2 years, I'll be right back to where I started.
Right. In a business field that you don't want to be
in corporate America, and I just didn't want to do it. So I said, listen, is there any way that I could enroll in the undergrad program, physical education, teaching licensure? And he's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, I'll take classes with 18-year-olds,
yep.
right? And then work all night. And they would pay for my food and my housing. And so I put my life on hold, at 24, 25, when a lot of my friends had jobs and sort of had a direction with where they're going and making some money and getting out on their own. And yeah, I went back and I lived in a dorm my first year with a bunch of foreign exchange students and 18, 19-year-olds. And
yeah, you were attacking your ego.
Yeah,
you had to attack your ego and swallow your pride and go do this.
Totally. I had to suck it up, but I was passionate about it. And I just started school all over again. I got a second bachelor's degree in physical education and teaching. And I was up there for about 2.5 years. And then up there, while I was doing that, I was helping out with a girls' high school team up in Salem, Mass, just scouting and going to practice. And so I started to feel like, I really enjoy this, being around, the kids and putting my passion into work. And I graduated in December, and I had to come home. I had no money. I was totally broke. And I came home, and I subbed at Bassick High School, which is right around the corner from here in Bridgeport. And I was a computer science teacher.
That must have been a fun job there.
So I'm like, let me see. I just graduated with a physical education degree. I'm ready to teach phys ed, and the only job I could find was being a computer science teacher going in, starting in January. So you can imagine how much fun that was.
Yeah, at Bassick.
Yeah. And, but the kids were great, and I wanted to coach right away. And Brian Sylvester, who I've known for a long time, was these guys' coach as well, as JV coach.
Yep.
Said, John, we have an opening as a freshman coach if you want it. And I was like, 100%. So timing is everything, and the timing was great. And now here I am,
8 years?
Yeah, well, I have 14 years now.
Total.
14, 15 years total later, and going in my 8th year as head varsity coach. And it's a dream come true, being the varsity coach at a high school in your town where you grew up. And we've had some success, and I'm very proud of that. But I went through, like you guys are trying to figure out, I put the work in, everybody's got to do that.
I
to reach
admire
that success level.
That at 24, 25, you were like, all right, I'll go back and redo all this stuff to go down a different path. It's like, it's hard to do. A lot of people, I feel like, just like accept like, all right, fuck it. I'll just do the corporate thing and
totally, dude.
Do whatever I like to do after work.
Yeah.
Nothing. If I have any advice I tell all my players now, like, dude, nothing's gonna fall in your lap. You have to go get it. You've got to be willing to make a lot of sacrifices, do things you don't want to do. You read a lot about so many successful people now, and I think on the surface, people just think, oh wow, right place, right time, and here they are, like Phil Jackson, Bulls, Lakers, Jordan. If you watch that Last Dance documentary this summer. Dude, that guy coaching Rochester.
He's a 20-year overnight success, right?
Right, yeah. For 20 years, right? Nobody heard of the guy.
Yeah.
And he coached in the ABA, and he coached in Puerto Rico, and that guy put in some serious fucking work, and then the timing was right, and the Bulls hired him and took a chance on him. after they fired Hubie Brown, I believe. But was it Hubie? No.
No. It was what's his name? Dave, I used to call Sylvester Dave Collins, not Collins.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Fudge.
Yeah, I forget his name. But you're right, Doug Collins.
Doug Collins.
Yeah, you're right, Doug Collins.
I used to call Sylvester him all the time, Doug Collins, when I was like, "What's up, Doug?"
Yeah. So anyway, so you just look at guys like that that really put the time and effort in, and then all of a sudden they're on out there and like, well, wow. So yeah, it's a good message that I really sort of went backwards to get to where I wanted to be.
Yeah, it is funny at 24, 25 years old, like I'm only 29, but thinking back to being 24, 25, like feeling like I had to have it all figured out at that point.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I still definitely don't have it figured out.
No,
like I'm just
neither do I.
Yeah, me either.
From the outside, it's kind of like I'm definitely successful in my job for sure, and like all this other stuff. And like we have a good thing going here.
Yeah.
But like we're still figuring
life
out for sure. It's
well, life's hard, man, and I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not always on the search for bigger and better, right? So
I saw a meme today. Sorry to cut you off, Coach, but I saw a meme today that said, it was off Valuetainment. Now I drew a blank because I saw Brian in the shot and it made me funny, like lose track. But it was, let me look it up. Continue. No, my bad.
Yeah,
no, especially in this area, like growing up in Fairfield, like there's kind of this unspoken path that you're supposed to go down. It's like, okay,
finance.
Go to elementary school, go to middle school,
totally.
Go to high school, play sports.
Yep.
Graduate, go to college.
Yes.
Graduate college.
Yeah.
Get a job.
Get a master's degree or start working in some sort of corporate kind of field.
Make a lot of money.
Make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Get the car, get the house, get the wife, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come back here and show everybody.
Competing with the job.
In my 10-year anniversary of Fairfield High School, I want to be doing this, and this, and brag about it. No, like that's bullshit. I mean, how many people do that and are unhappy with their career path? And I love what I do.
Yeah.
I don't make a lot of money, but I love what I do, and I'm passionate about it. I feel like I'm good at it. I mean, you got to be successful with what you want to do.
Right.
And so. The only way that you can chase those dreams is by doing something that you feel you can be successful at.
Yeah, I think like it's supposed to be like when you wake up every day, you're supposed to not like be dreading going to work. And if you wake up happy and excited to be going to do what you do, like that's really successful.
Yeah.
Yes. And true happiness.
Being good at it, or at least feeling like you're good at it, because I know in my position as a coach, I'm sure a lot of people feel like I'm not good at it, right? Because that's just the way it is. You can't please everybody, but I feel like I'm good at it. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be doing it anymore. And but you're right, Jake. I mean, you got to wake up every day and just sort of feel like you can go get it, and you're on the search for being better.
I have a cool story about Dailey, actually, Jake. He knows this story. I don't know if you know this. You obviously know it. You've lived it, but, and I don't know if you know how I feel about this, but, I graduated high school, hoops didn't turn out how I wanted it to in high school. And then, fast forward like a year and a half, maybe I'd say, out of high school. And I'm like, what the fudge am I doing with my life? Really? Like, what am I doing? And I was like, that was when I was like, all right, going forward, no woulda, coulda, shouldas.
Yeah.
No woulda, coulda, shouldas for me.
Yeah.
Going from here forward, I'm gonna do this. So if you know hoops, you can't. I had to get my feet wet again. I had to get my flow back. I had to get everything timing before I hit him up to come help me. And Jake,
I do remember,
Jake knows this part because he was living it with me. He was we were working out every day at Fitness 4000, but.
That's right.
I'm rewinding.
we were grinding hard.
I'm rewinding back just real quick to graduating in 09. You have a senior photo. I still have it. I'm gonna frame it for the warehouse one day. And on the back it has a phone number. You know whose phone number it is?
Dailey?
Coach Dailey's. And he told me back then. He said, "Anytime you ever need me, hit me up."
Of course.
And I fast forward, and after I got ready, I hit him up. Yeah, sure. Let's go. Fitness 4000. Let's do it.
Yeah, I remember you sneaking into the gym at UB. We were shooting over there at night. And, you had a key or you jumped in the window.
Yep, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I tell all my guys, and that's, again, I think when it's all said and done, I was thinking about this in the car right over. I could look back on the really great wins, the really tough losses, or I could look back on the relationships that I have developed with these kids and how blessed I am that they have come into my life.
Yeah, every kid that passes through your team is going to remember you for the rest 100%. Of their life. You know what I mean?
And so, Jake, like, you got to ask a question as a coach. Do you want to be remembered for winning and losing and maybe being a total asshole? Or do you want to be remembered for, okay, some wins and some losses, being a good coach, decent coach,
you know, but a better guy,
and someone that these kids can really, lean on for the rest of their life.
Look up to,
be a positive role model. And I always tell my guys, the second the season's over, like, yeah, we're always going to be player coach, but now you're my friend for life. And I'm just so blessed to have that happen to me. That's Mike is my friend. Mike was my player, but Mike is now a better friend for sure.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I love you, man. Yeah.
I think that, yeah, I mean, I'm tough on kids, and I have to be. That's my job. I've got to coach, right? And and Grasso too, same thing, right? Brian's here, and but I think they would probably say like, oh yeah, Dailey, good coach, but man, what a great guy.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing to me when in the big picture when it's all said and done.
Yeah. No, I think it's like, do you know Chris Barrett?
I do know Chris Barrett, so I know Billy's brother, but I know Chris. I know Chris. I'm always trying to do better in the gym, and I remember I hit Chris up a few times for some nutrition stuff.
Yeah, he's the guy.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah. Was that a goat in here?
Was that you?
Chris?
Was that you or like a sound?
No, it was me. I've done it so much on Xbox.
But Chris is like such a good dude.
Yeah,
he is and I don't even know him that well.
His heart.
When they're like you're real.
Yeah.
He is such a great guy.
Yeah, for sure. But no, we had him on here too, and I don't know if you know his whole story with like his
man,
heart
he
and everything.
Died.
Yeah. Well, even as recent as March.
Yeah, he had a stroke in March.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that? But he was in the hospital. But is that the second time or no? Was that because that was serious?
Well, tell him.
The first time it was he had some issues going on with like the electrical.
Right.
Pulses from his heart and like everything. So his heart rate spiked up to like 300 beats a minute. And they had to put an ICD in. Like he's in the hospital. He can't run anymore because he can't have his heart rate go too high.
Yep.
But for him, and then in March he had a stroke because there was blood pooling in his heart.
Unreal.
And it
shot up to his brain.
Crazy.
Yeah, clot shot up to his brain and he had a stroke.
Wow.
So he's very much still like going through it.
Yeah.
But one of the things that he talked about on here was kind of like when his dreams of running were crushed by everything, like he resorted back to coaching running, and like there was a girl who wrote this article about like her most influential person in her life or at GFA where he coaches.
Yep.
And she wrote about him and like how enthusiastic he is when he comes to, and like he's going to remember that forever. And like that gets him through the bad days. You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of like, it's just crazy, like how much coaches like have an impact on just like on kids' lives, So.
Yeah, totally. It's very powerful. And that's such a great position to be in, and like I just had 8 seniors graduate, such great kids. And I text them all the time, and sometimes they don't get back to me because they're probably partying too hard in college, but they'll get back to me. But they'll get back to me, but every class sort of fades, right? They always sort of fade away, and to a point where they become adults and they get a job and they get married, and then that's happening now, which is sort of crazy.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like Paloyne's got kids.
Yeah, right? I know.
And Drew Billington, and he doesn't have kids, but he's got a girlfriend, I think, or he's getting engaged.
Married, whatever. Everybody.
Right, so like all these guys. But if my phone ever rang and it was Brian Grasso, I mean, I'd pick it up in a heartbeat. Coach, I need a favor. Dude, you got it.
Yeah.
What do you need? Call me anytime. And we may have not talked in 5 years, but that's the brotherhood, that's the bond that we've formed. And I wasn't even Brian's head coach. I mean, I was his assistant, but I think that's sort of the relationship that I have on these kids. That impact is that they can call me for anything.
Yeah. Other than these two knuckleheads right here, did you have any other like kids that were like just hard times off the court?
Yeah.
But good basketball players, just like
just troubled a little bit in high school.
Any interesting stories?
Not I'm talking about me right now or Grasso. We can talk about it another time, but you don't have to name names either.
Yeah, I mean, listen, every kid that I've coached, I think, has something going on,
Right.
you know, and whether it's, you know, in Mike's case, single parent upbringing with his mom, because I can relate to that because my dad raised my brother and I, or maybe it's something like neurological or behavioral issues, or you know, ADHD, or struggle in school, or you know, falling down the wrong path with drugs and drinking, and
it's heavy in Fairfield. We
absolutely
know that.
right.
Yeah.
Huge anxiety now and depression and so much
pressure and
pressure
stuff.
to get into college,
Yeah.
get into a good college, perform in the SAT, whatever, right? So there's so much outside of just basketball that, you know, I'm responsible for. And I tell my guys all the time, like, I'll talk to you about anything, you know, and I want to have an open line of communication with my players. I don't know. You know, I've played for a couple guys that I was just straight up afraid of. You know, I could never talk to them outside of basketball. I couldn't even talk to them about basketball.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, basketball.
I was that scared of them because that's the way they
coached.
Yeah, and like their demeanor.
It was that old school Bobby Knight mentality.
Yeah.
It's my way or the highway, and if you don't like it, too bad. And I just always told myself that I would never coach that way. I mean, I'm definitely tough on kids and tough in practice, but I'll pat them on the ass and let them know when they do something good too, for sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's been times when I've been way too tough on kids, especially I feel like early on when these guys were coming playing and I was young and I wanted to set the world on fire and thought I was Bobby Knight or Mike Krzyzewski, right? I just act like a total asshole. But, you know, so I think that, yeah, like you got to find a balance, and but I'm always there for them away from hoops. I really can't think of any specific stories, but there has been plenty. There has been plenty, and I just always preach to my guys, like, talk to me, please, because if I don't know what's going on, you know, and you got something happening, like it's just gonna get worse.
Yeah.
So come talk to me. Let's talk it out. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to be mad. You're going to be surprised. Like, I'm going to try and help you.
Yeah.
Because I can relate, man. I had a tough upbringing.
You were a kid and went through all of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, my dad, my parents split when I was 5. My dad raised my brother and I. My mother battled alcohol for a long, long time. It was hard, man. I saw a lot of shit growing up, you know. So, and I sort of wish that there were other people in my life besides my dad and my, you know, immediate family that were, you know, took some interest in took some interest in what
you're doing.
Yeah, what was going on in my life, man, because it was hard, especially in high school.
Yeah.
Really hard.
People forget what high school's like. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of, everyone thinks they're so old or whatever. It's like
I was a mess in high school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're like all over the place. Thanks, Tam, for constantly walking by the shot. But
I barely went to school in high school. I was like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I graduated with a 1.8. I had to go to Nancy.
If I didn't go to co-op, and they were basically like, look, just show up here
Right.
3 hours a day, and we'll get you through high school.
Yeah.
You know?
And think about that though. Think about that system, like of Fairfield. It's like like the public's, you know, that system. It's like, hey, all right, if you're not here at this level, like we still need to meet the graduation levels, you know. We need us having top graduation numbers. Nancy Larson signed a paper. She looked me in my eyes. She said, "Are you gonna do good in this world?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she signed me. She said, "You're graduating." I said, "Thank you," and that was it.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know,
I skated by freshman year. I just stopped going to school.
Yeah.
Right.
My mom would drive me
Yeah.
to the door at Ludlow. I'd pretend to go in, and then I'd leave.
Yeah. Where'd you go?
Just like friend's house, like,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
hanging out with the wrong people, all
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah,
And
totally.
then sophomore year, they were like, all right, like you have to go to co-op. And I was like,
The hell is
guys,
co-op?
like, I went to go check it out.
They had co-op when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it got me through
Right.
to graduate, which I really, really appreciate. And I
Yeah.
learned a little bit while I was there.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that
Yeah.
system of everything, but it's
Right.
just, high school, I don't know, it was not for me. I just,
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Like at Ludlow, I'm very fortunate. I have everybody that sort of plays for me. Everybody that plays for me, number one, is a great kid.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not a great kid, then there's the door.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just the way I see it. So it has nothing to do with basketball. The kids that we bring in can play, right?
Right.
But we also see something in them that is attractive in terms of they're just a good person. They work hard in school. They're respectful. So I've been blessed. I haven't had a ton of issues,
Right.
behavioral grades. I would say we probably have one of the highest GPAs on average every year.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, they've got a lot of things away from hoops, and I wish that someone else I could reach out to and talk to when I was growing up, because it was hard, But as a teacher in Bridgeport, I really see a lot of stuff, with these kids. I'm a middle school phys ed teacher at Curie.
Oh, you teach now in Bridgeport?
Yeah, I teach at Curie School, which is on the west side, and now there's where you see a lot of things going on, and I try and develop great relationships over there with kids, and check in on them just away from class, like just talk. You want to talk? Let's talk. So it's so important to have a lot of role models in your life, and I think it's more prevalent now that there's a lot more support, because mental health is such an important part of society now.
Swept under the rug anymore.
It wasn't when you guys were in high school. It certainly wasn't when I was in high school. So but yeah, man, I've been through it, and so any help I can provide.
Do
kids.
you guys work? I mean, do you have the kids ever do you link up? Have you ever linked up with Mike Evans to do?
I was just gonna say that
right?
too.
Yeah, so Mike and I are good friends. Mike and I coach against each other. Mike was the head coach in New Canaan
that's sick.
when I was at Ludlow. So yeah.
Who won the battles?
So Mike, my first year we stunk. That was we were 5-15. I remember Mike came to Ludlow the final game of the year. They were terrible too, and he'll joke about this. And they beat us, and it was like they won the NCAA championship. I remember that game. And then the next year we were really good, and they were not, and we beat them at their place. And then I think his third and final year, we won. He got teed up too. That helped us. Yeah.
Mike got technical. He got angry.
Mike,
that means he got angry on the court.
Oh, Mike Mike. I mean, I'm
I could
guilty
see it.
of it too.
Yeah, that little Irish temper.
Mike's got a big temper.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Mike's a great coach.
He's
though.
passionate.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Very passionate, great coach, and Mike's a super smart guy.
Yeah.
And so
Tell us what happened.
So Mike will, if Mike is going to argue a call, Mike's always right.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Even though he may not be.
Yeah.
Mike's gonna.
If he thinks he's right,
He's gonna continue to ride that official. Whereas I might let it go after a possession or two.
Yeah.
Mike's gonna just continue to let him have it. And I think at this night we were. It was my second year. We were really good. It was a close game. And I remember finally the guy had enough, and boop, and that was it. Mike had to sit down, but anyways, so
that's funny.
We talked full court piece. I'm not sure if any of my guys have been involved. I know a lot of the Ludlow girls have, especially this year and last year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he does great work.
Yeah,
and I introduced him to our principal at Curie last summer.
Oh, cool.
And they just redid the court at our school. Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if you went to when he goes to the third world countries, the Cubas and stuff, to be a coach over there and help coach while you're there.
Yeah, I know he's been trying to get me over there. So
we're going on the 4th.
Yeah,
with them.
So good. It's great, man.
I know.
Yeah,
it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, he got another guest on here to go over there. He got Glenn Colella to go over there.
Oh yeah. Glenn
was trying to teach. He told us the whole story. Glenn was trying to teach the refs how to ref,
but there was a language barrier.
He had a tough time because he doesn't speak Spanish, and it's
a different kind of dialect of Spanish too. So
I'm not sure Glenn can teach anybody how to ref. I mean,
I'm
only kidding, man.
Shots fired.
Yeah. Well, because he refs his games.
We're sending him the clip of just that.
No, Glenn's my guy.
Yeah.
He's a great official.
Yeah.
Very, very highly regarded.
Yeah.
In the area, and I've known him for a long time, man. So Glenn and I go way back, and he makes a great smoothie.
That'd be funny. Yeah, he does. That'd be funny if in a game now this season he tees him up out of nowhere, and he's like, "That was for that comment on the Dream is Free."
So I've never gotten a tech as a head coach.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that actually. I know I absolutely 100% should
really
have gotten a tech.
I feel like I've been to games and I've seen you get hot.
Yeah, I think
that's impressive.
So there was one game we were playing Norwalk at home. It was a huge game. It was my second year again. We were very good, and Norwalk at the time was top 10 in the state. They had this kid Roy Kane who played at New Haven. He was tremendous, all 1,000-point scorer. Anyways, and we had I don't remember the Petersons.
Mm-hmm.
Connor was
yep. Yep.
So Chad was a tremendous player. He was the middle brother. He was guarding Roy. The place was packed. It was, we were good, they were good, whatever. And it was on our side. So and we were on. It must have been first half. It was first half. So we were on offense, and Chad was posting up, and on Roy, and Roy flopped, and they called an offensive foul. And I cannot stand flopping. So I swear to God, I ran down to the end of our bench, and if you know Ludlow, they have the end zone seating.
Yeah.
This is no exaggeration. I ran down to the end zone bench. The ref was Sarge Tom Brown, who's such a great guy and a good ref. Down to the end of the bench, I ran on the baseline underneath the basket.
Wow.
Well, I was that far. That is absolute 150%
technical
grounds for a technical
foul.
And I never forget it. This guy, Matt Narwald, who was
I know.
He was
we know him.
Site director.
Yeah.
He grabbed me from the stands and he brought me back to the bench. And Brown was I think Brown was so shocked
that you went out there.
That I was underneath. I was in the game. And I think about it now. I'm like, how the fuck did he not tee me up?
Yeah.
Anyways, I didn't get a tech, and I saw him in the stairwell at halftime, and I was like, dude, I am so sorry. I was so out of line. And he's like, don't ever fucking do it again.
Yeah.
But that was the closest. I mean, I've probably come close a couple other times.
I've seen you get hot because he gets hot at his players. And then, I'm sure throughout the game,
I get hot at him. Yeah,
so then it's then I've seen it where it's his player did something and the ref did something, and he's just like a pit bull.
Yeah. There was one other time. Marty Wharton? You guys know Marty. He was an old Wakeman guy, Fairfield guy. He's an official.
Marty, yes.
So we were playing Ridgefield at home, and we were really bad. This is 3 years ago. I think we won 2 games. We were terrible. And so here's the thing about coaching. You get pissed off at refs, not because they made the call. You get pissed off at something else. You had a bad day.
Yeah.
Right? Or your team sucks. Or you're getting your ass kicked. Or it's a big game and you are good and you're just into the heat of the moment. But usually you get mad at refs because there's something else going on. It's not about
it's like a punching
you made
bag.
That call. It's I'm taking everything in my life
out on you
right now.
Yeah.
So I remember we played Ridgefield. They won the FCI title that year, and we were terrible. And we had I don't know how we were even in the game, and we were winning by 15 at the half, at home. And so second half they come roaring back. We go to overtime. They score the first 4 points in the OT, and as a coach this game's over.
Yeah.
We just come down. We turn it over, down 4. There's a minute and a half left. They go down. One of my kids stands in to take a charge, 100% block. It was not a charge. And the kid got an M1 for Ridgefield, up 6.
Yeah.
And Marty, bang, block. And I just called timeout to go after Marty. I called timeout. He's on the far end. And I ran out, almost people thought I was going to try and fight him.
Yeah.
And I was nose to nose. I lost my mind because it was basically this is the whole season right here in a nutshell. This is exactly, we're blowing the game.
Yep.
I knew my kid took a block, and I had players pulling me off him. It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed.
After,
I went home. I was I'm such an asshole. What are you doing?
Yeah.
This high school basketball. This is not Indiana or Duke, and whatever. And he didn't tee me up.
Wow.
He didn't tee me up, and I called him that night, and I called him again the next day. I apologized. I really was. I was so out of line.
Wow.
But I think I feel
like you could strategically start to mess around with referees too,
Yeah, I've been a lot better because listen, the argument is not going to change the call.
Yeah.
What is it going to do?
But it could change future calls.
But I will tell you, I always tell guys, I say, listen, I'll be waiting for that makeup call later in the game.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I will.
No, yeah.
And,
you owe me.
Yeah, you owe me. And if you get on them a little bit or enough, they'll sort of remember maybe I do owe you one, or at least I sort of think like that. Glenn will never tell you that.
Yeah.
He's so by the book. But,
I know. He is.
He reffed a game last year of ours. Really funny comment. What did he say? He was so quick-witted too. My kid, we were playing at home. He was reffing, and I thought a kid traveled. And so I tried to imitate what the kid did. The kid did a Euro and pivot.
Yeah.
And I said, Glenn, and he's on our way. And I said, travel. And I did what the kid did. And basically it was like 2 steps or maybe it was one of my players, whatever. And I was like, boom, boom, boom. I did the thing. And he looks at me and he goes, yeah, 1, 2, 3, travel. he's like, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, that's funny.
So I'm like, I was like, oh, I'm an asshole. But I've developed such a good relationship with a lot of the refs over the years. They try their best, and they're very patient. And I think it's evident, too. We've won the Swafield Award as a program, which is voted on by the officials in the local Fairfield County Board, I think 3 times.
What is that?
Was that like sportsmanship?
Oh, cool.
Parents, players, coaches.
Do you ever have any crazy parents?
I've been very fortunate. Listen, they're probably crazy behind my back. I know they are, a lot of them. But I haven't had any. There's been no face-to-face. Did have a parent this year. We were winning. He was not happy with maybe his kid's playing time, and he was screaming at me from the stands.
To play his kid?
No, the kid had made a 3.
I remember there was a dad that was a dad to one of the good kids. All
right, so we could talk about that. I won't mention,
Yeah, don't mention names, but I remember he was a psycho.
Yeah,
on your team?
No. I was coming to help out and stuff like that, and doing summer camps and whatever, and just, dude. But this dad, like, oh my, he was one of those like.
He was way over the top.
Yeah,
way over, and his kid was a great kid.
Yeah.
Was he doing just yelling from the stands?
No, he just he did that too. But he would always. He'd be sitting outside of practice some days, or he'd email me. Like one time he emailed me, and the kid was a freshman at Ludlow.
Freshman.
Okay, if he's not a freshman at Rice in the Bronx,
right?
A freshman at Ludlow. Have you called Kevin Ollie at UConn? Dead serious. And I
Kevin Ollie's the head coach of UConn. To try to get his kid.
So I said, I wrote back. I was like, for what? Like, to be a manager? And this is how delusional some of these parents are.
Yeah.
And he's by far the most delusional parent I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we've won the Swafield Award, and I think our that just sort of speaks volume for our program as a whole.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what I really want is we got great kids, we've got great coaches that are good people.
Right.
But yeah, parents are switching gears there. I mean, it's. Yeah, I get the occasional email, but they're good. They're hands off. But I sort of make that known right away. Like,
right.
I'm not talking to you about basketball. I'll talk to you about anything else. Grades, what's going on socially.
I'm the coach,
not
you.
But I make it known. Like these kids got enough pressure. Like they probably don't need to hear it from you when you get home either. Honestly. And so, if there's a problem, then go to the AD. And the AD I've been fortunate to have 2 great ADs that have backed me up and said, well, as your son, talk to the coach. And stepping back, I always tell the parents, like I tell the kids, like we talked about before, open line of communication. If you have a problem with your role on our team, come talk to me. And I will gladly tell you
what's good.
What is going on and why you're not getting the minutes that maybe you think you should be getting.
Yeah, right? Did you notice you have no left hand?
Yeah. Do you notice that you can't guard a tree?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that it's never gotten to that point, thankfully.
Yeah.
They're out there for sure, and you got to have a thick skin. You just have to. It's your team. It's your way. You're not going to please everybody.
Yeah. And how's this year going with like COVID?
It's been hard, very hard, and it was hard last year. We were 17-5. We had just made the FCX semifinals. We beat St. Joe's in the quarters handily. We lost a tough game to Ridgefield down at Wilton, the field house. We were the number 3 seed in the state for our division. I thought we had a bye in the first round of the state tournament, and then we had home court advantage right to the semifinals. I really thought we were going to get to Mohegan Sun, and we were that good. And we never played a game. Never played a state tournament game. Got canceled before, the rug was pulled out right under us before we even knew it.
Roll over?
Well, now we graduated 8 seniors. Great kids. That's right. Five starters. So we bring back a couple good guards. But when you graduate 8 kids, 5 starters, it's not a rebuild because I do have some solid, seniors now that got some time last year, but we're going to be in full rebuild mode starting next year. The next really solid class I like is in 8th grade. right now.
Wow.
Are they playing right now?
So we play in a fall league on Sundays. I think it's very safe. And, their conditioning, it's all onto them now. Like, we would have a full preseason program for them starting when they got back to school in September. Skill work I can't coach by rule in the preseason. I'm not allowed, but I can set everything up.
He could stare at everybody.
Yeah. I can,
like a hawk.
Yeah. And I can condition.
Scare the freshmen.
And I can go to our fall league games, but I would have other coaches put them through skill work and playing twice a week. We would have an additional open gym. Someone would monitor, and then we'd lift 3 days a week. And then I would probably like mid-October come in and just run the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Twice, 3 days a week after school. And then, once we started tryouts, then I was ready to go. But I wanted to put a humongous emphasis on our preseason work, our summer work, so that when we got going in late November, December, we were already ready to go. Yeah. I did not have to focus on conditioning for the first 2 weeks of practice.
Right.
And I started bringing in Joe DeSantis, who was a former college coach, played in the NBA.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He would put in some of our secondary offense in the preseason with the guys so that we're hitting the ground running
as soon as game one.
As we started, and I'm not going through all this stuff. So not having that right now, going back to your question, has been very challenging, very challenging. And you can see it in the way they're playing right now. They haven't done anything. I mean, they were playing outside in the spring, shooting their driveway. But there's no continuity, and when you graduate 8 guys and 5 seniors, these kids got to play with each other all summer, all spring, all summer, all fall, and it's not happening. Yeah, absolutely. So if we do play, which is 50-50 right now, when we get back in, we're going to have to do all those things in those first 3 weeks of practice that I just talked about I don't want to do. We're going to have to condition.
Yeah.
We're going to have to hit the reset button and go through all of our offense. And, just sort of, and I think right now we stink defensively. We'll get there because I'm a big defensive guy, but right now we're not any good. And so we're going to have to kind of start from scratch.
This will be your toughest year as a coach.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be a fun year too.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not.
Everybody's toughest year too.
Yeah.
The
pressure's off now. If we play, it's 10, 12 games. It's going to be in a pod. There may not be a postseason. We're going to have probably, I'm sure, kids that have to quarantine, or maybe even I'll have to quarantine, whatever. And so I'm looking forward to just maybe not preparing as hard this year, and playing more kids and
playing some younger
more
kids,
teaching, less heart attacks, and more sleep. Because I went during the season, I really don't sleep, and you go home, you stare at the ceiling for 5 hours and
trying to figure out
what to do, a close better, loss or a good win, or how can we get better, and the life of a coach, right, that cares. And so I'm looking forward to sort of a reprieve from that this year. Plus my wife's pregnant, so it's a good.
That's news.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Congrats,
Thanks
bro.
very much. Yeah, first one, having a girl.
Oh, dude, that's epic. Do you have a name yet?
Yeah, we're not going to tell you though.
Oh my God. Okay.
All
right, that's fair. Yeah. At least we know that stuff, though. I feel honored.
Yeah, totally.
That's awesome, man. So, congrats.
Yeah, thanks, man. So my wife and I are trying to navigate, COVID-19 right now, which is hard for everybody. But when you're having a baby, it's multiplied times 100.
Yeah, so. I know you're worried about everything. It's like,
I was allowed in yesterday, my first ultrasound. So it was pretty cool. Yeah,
nice.
I had to FaceTime all of them, so I was there for real yesterday, which was awesome.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, man.
That's epic.
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're finally growing up, Coach.
It only took me 40 years. Jesus Christ.
Oh, man, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Love it. Yeah, so what are you, what's like, I've always wondered with you is like, I'm just going to be blunt. Like, do you want to just coach high school, or do you want to go further if it is offered?
That's what I was going to ask next.
Yeah. So here's my thought on that. Being a high school varsity coach, if you asked me 10 years ago, like that was the peak. That was like the ultimate goal. And when I got it, I was just so excited, and I felt like I worked really hard for it. And then my goal was to all right, how can I get this program to where I want it to be and successful on a yearly basis? And now, I mean, sure, you think about that, but college coaching is hard. You've got to start at a young age, I think. You got to start kind of right out of college as maybe a grad assistant. Or you got to be like a really, really successful high school coach.
Yeah.
That's super connected, and then wants to make sort of like that sacrifice that I talked about earlier when I was 24, 25, kind of put my life on hold. Because I would probably have to go coach at a Division III school or a Division II school.
And work your way up from
and
there.
I'd have to work my way up from there. I'd probably have to quit my job teaching. You know, I'd have to sacrifice a lot of money for me, at least, right?
Yeah.
My
Baby
family,
on the way and all
baby
that,
on the way. Yeah, absolutely. And I'd love to, in an ideal world, like if I was
someone was
25 and single again, like I would do it in a heartbeat. I'd you know, but it's hard, man. I look at so many college coaches. Like Mike knows a mutual friend of ours who was Mike's assistant coach at UB. His name is Crunch.
Yep.
And
I remember
he just left UB, took a job in Memphis.
Yep.
And I think he's like as all in as can get. And he's still, you know, he's still on the search for the head coaching job, the highest level. And I think he will get there because he just is a relentless worker and he keeps the faith, and he's a tremendous coach. But I look at that guy, like that dude's put it all on the line,
right?
You know, and still sort of in that that quest to get to that pinnacle,
That's a
right?
good point.
So I feel like I'd have to just go backwards, you know. And
it's hard to do when you have a baby on the way. Yeah,
right now it's impossible.
Yeah,
it's impossible. So I'm in a good place in my life.
Yeah,
I'm in a good place in coaching. I think if there was ever a change, maybe I would switch high schools. Go coach somewhere else, you know. But I love the community at Ludlow. I love the kids. I love what I got coming up in the future classes. I've developed a good relationship with some of the middle school kids now. I really like what we've got coming up in the future. It's going to take some hard work to get back to where we were last year, I think. But, you know, that's sort of my next mission. You know?
Yeah. Are you able to, like, you can't recruit when you're in public school, obviously.
Yeah, so you're
but can you go talk to the 8th graders and be like, hey, don't go to prep?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're going to try to come get you. But
I'm doing a lot of, well, I shouldn't say I'm doing that a lot now, but yeah, totally, for sure. There's no doubt about it. I was doing it more, I guess, when I was sort of either single or, you know, dating my wife now or married with no child in the way and had some extra time. But I kind of relegated the fact that, like, listen, you get the hand you're dealt. You know, let's see what kids are here, and I can only coach the kids that come, right? And then do that to the best of my ability.
Yeah. Does Rich Lee still coach at?
No, I think he moved.
So he moved down to North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was the head coach of prep, and then Leo Redgate took over, and Rich is a great guy. Man.
Yeah.
I miss
I haven't
Rich
talked to him in a long time.
Yeah.
Obviously, I haven't
There's
seen him.
another guy that was a great coach. And I can tell you that, you know, every kid that he coached in his life.
I remember him from Wakeman. Yeah, it's like,
you know,
Rich.
Sort of guy, you know, mentored at Wakeman will just say nothing but great things about Rich. 100%.
I know. I wish he coached Ludlow. He was about to get that job.
That's true.
Yep. And then, you know, the rest is history. But
so
it's just, he's a great dude and was a great coach. You know, I remember it's funny because Glenn kicked me out of Wakeman. Like when I was young, I was crazy and stuff. And he kicked me out 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
And every time Rich Lee was there, like, are you crazy? Like, why would you, like, do you want him out in the streets? Like, it's better that he's here, ball. Like, he always stepped up for me.
Right.
I always got, you know.
I got kicked out with you one time, I remember.
Yeah. So, we were, you know, but.
What'd you do?
I did something in the game room.
Yeah, we were just kids.
It wasn't basketball related. You were upstairs in the game room.
Yeah.
Or you steal like a soda from the machine.
Yeah, something stupid. Like it was something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I spent a lot of time in Wakeman, so if you got kicked out, I pretty much.
You know what what was
Yeah, it was totally.
Ruben and Rich always helped.
Yeah. We got to get Ruben on here. We've been talking about that.
Another great guy, man. He just took a job at Fairfield Prep.
Yep.
Yeah. We were doing this running club with him at Wakeman,
Bridgeport,
Bridgeport.
Where we would take like
he's like hey, we have all these kids, we want to train them for a 5K for the Black Rock 5K. Awesome. And they were like, we need people to run with them, and we were like, all right, let's do it. It was fun.
Yeah, it was
a good time. Like
he's
funny
really,
ass kids.
Really genuine person.
Someone that just loves kids and loves what he does, you know.
Yeah, he held it down in there too. He was funny.
Oh,
because there's just kids going nuts in
everywhere,
place, and Ruben just like scream, yelling.
So when I was a kid growing up, Glenn, I think when I was like in 8th grade, 7th grade, Glenn was the
director.
The director of Wakeman,
Yeah.
Ruben.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And so that's how far I go back with Glenn.
Yeah.
And then Glenn.
Ruben was just a front desk admin.
He was junior staff.
Yeah, when we
Yeah.
were
Right.
going there, because we were in elementary school.
Yeah. Junior staff.
Crazy. Yeah. And then Glenn, I forget what Glenn did before he kind of got going on the
catch
nutrition
up. Yeah.
piece. I mean, he refed and it was Wakeman.
Yeah.
Really,
That was
just
it. Yeah, with the
Wakeman.
lax program. He really built
Yeah.
that lax program
That's
from
what you told
nothing.
us on
Yeah.
there,
They had no lax
Yeah.
program, and now it's like I couldn't even imagine Wakeman without a lax
Right.
program.
Yeah.
Like
So he's got great stories.
they pump out lax players for all these
Yeah.
Yes.
Northeast
Yes.
colleges, honestly.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah. Yeah. So Glenn and I go way back.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, Coach. I mean, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Whatever you guys want to talk about.
Yeah.
I could talk for hours, man. It's
Yeah.
a great conversation. This has been a lot of fun. I really enjoy coaching and you know, yeah, like I said, I just cannot stress enough, like when it's all said and done, you look back and you just like I'm so blessed to have so many kids come into my life. And that, you know, I'll be friends with forever. It's, you know, when we can just look back with so many funny stories.
Yeah.
It doesn't even pertain to basketball.
Yeah.
It's impressions of me as a
Yeah.
coach, or, you know,
Yeah.
times I got on them. And, you know, like I always tell the guys, I'm like, you know, I'm going to coach you. I'm going to yell at you. That's my job, but it is not personal.
Yeah.
And you may not think that right now. And some kids can handle it and some kids cannot.
Yeah,
And
the snowflakes.
the kids that handle it, you know, go on and they go to college and then it may not hit them, you know, 10 years, 15 years, but 20 years later, like I'm just very fortunate I was able to play high school basketball and hopefully they think that, hey, I played for just a great person, you know, and maybe he could have played me more or maybe he didn't have to yell at me like that or whatever.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, like he was just a good guy to play for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This could be
You'll get that.
this could be your new recruitment video for the parents now.
Yeah.
Just send this to the parents and be
Yeah.
like,
It's
"This
like,
is."
hey, I might not play your child enough, and I might yell at them, but
They're gonna
10, 25 years from now, like,
Yeah.
they're gonna look back and think about me.
Yeah, totally. And then listen, you know, there's a lot of kids out there who probably can't stand me either. You know,
I don't know.
that's how it goes. But you know, that's okay. I mean, it's not. You know, you
I don't
can't please
think so.
you can't please everybody.
You can't make everybody happy.
You know,
you
and,
can't make the parents happy. You can't make the refs happy. You can't
No.
make all the kids
No.
happy.
Yeah.
It's like,
No. And in the end of the day, like I've got to put what I think is the best product out on the floor to be able to win ball games. And,
Yeah.
I've got to make a lot of tough decisions, and I'm way more wrong than I am right for
but
sure.
everybody gets a fair chance, right?
Yeah, totally. And you
There's
know,
there's no politics with Coach Dailey.
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe so.
No
And,
one's getting in your pocket.
yeah, like you know, I'm playing who I think are the best guys that
Yeah.
you know that help us, give us a chance to win games. And
Right.
you know, and if you don't play up to my standard,
There's a
then
nice seat on the bench for you.
You're probably you know you're not going to play.
Keep it
And
warm.
It's not easy. I wish
Yeah.
I could play everybody.
Yeah.
I feel bad about it. There's a lot of times where I get on guys, I go home and I'm like, shit, man, I really shouldn't have rode that kid that hard today. Or I'm human too, and but you know, I feel like this is you know, it's my program, it's my team.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like I make the final call on everything, and so you're not going to please everybody, but it is what it is, and this is how I evaluate and what I see, and I think I've been doing it long enough now that I'm fairly good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the proof is there, especially like after high school, like the way you help Mike out and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
you're not
I
just
think
talking
so.
about it. You live
No,
it.
he walks it for sure.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I got a kid now, Thomas Duffy, who played for me. He went on, had a great career at Suffolk. He's trying to play overseas, and he's coaching our fall league team now. And I've helped him, and I went to his last college game at Albertus Magnus, and you know, guys are looking for jobs now. I'm happy to help with jobs. Guys are looking for college recommendations, and
Yeah.
like I'm just a phone call away. You know,
Yeah.
just shoot me a text, call me, anything you need, you want to talk. Like I had kids at my wedding. I mean, you know, so it's
Yeah.
like all love now. It's a family, and
Yeah.
it's you know, stays like that forever. You know?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good place to leave off on, honestly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
This has been a blast, and I hope I can come on again.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got to get you on the sports port.
Yeah, let's talk about like something besides like me and
No, yeah.
basketball.
You got to come on our
let's-
sports show because
talk about like my
Yeah, it'll be a good
pathetic,
fit
my
on there.
pathetic Giants.
we could,
and
no,
how the Knicks are just like.
we could talk about the
awful.
Masters too. We have like dudes.
Masters on there in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we have someone who works. You're good. We have someone who works for the Masters. I forgot exactly what,
Really?
but he's coming in to talk. So
Wow.
we'll have you on for that show to
Oh, I'd love to talk golf.
bounce. You know what I mean?
I'll talk golf any day of the week.
For sure, we'll
Yeah.
do that. No,
Yeah, please.
that's dope.
Yep.
We'll make that a thing.
All right.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
Thank you for
everybody.
coming on.
Boys, yeah.
Sub,
Thanks, Jake.
like everything. We love you guys. See you soon.